Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Real Sports Live Network, where we have Mission Veterans taking on Brownsville St. Joseph. Here we have Mission Vets here on the left side and Brownsville St. Joe on the right. Both teams preparing as they are getting ready for the start of this game. We'll be right back after this short break from our sponsors to bring you that beginning of the first set here.
On vacation. South Padre is more than an island. It's the island.
The middle. It's in! And it's another touchdown! Keeps the line. Now that becomes a hit. Castillo on. And that's going to be a fumble recovered by the Cardinals.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we start off the game with St. Joe with the ball. St. Joe on our right, Mission Vets on our left. Here at Donna High School. Great hit to start off the game as it is inside. Beautiful hit there to start off the match. Mission Vets with the first point. St. Joe just getting here and already thrown into a game while Mission Vets has been warmed up for quite some time now. Let's see if that either affects them or benefits them as St. Joe is able to get their first point here off of a tip. Great tip right there. Nice diving effort to be able to pick up that serve by St. Joe. This spike, not enough to clear the net, but however gets a lucky bounce. And now Vets with the save for that. Being able to continue to keep the ball in play as now they look to go on the attack. St. Joe with this hit going out of bounds. Great defensive plays by Mission Vets being able to keep that ball alive as now they are leading now 3-1. This ball being able to break the fingers of the defender. Little hesitation there by Mission Vets. Not really quite sure who wanted to take that hit. However, that gives the ball back to St. Joe. Great serve right there, pushing it all the way back to the back row. Great kill right there by number 2, Mission Vets, as it is a nasty hit right there, flying through your screen. And I promise you, that's just as fast as it looks. Not letting St. Joe even get a chance to react to that ball. Finding the open zone in the top right corner. Great tip right there by Mission Vets. Nice change of pace. As we see previously before that, they had a monstrous kill shot and getting their point by having the ball come flying in. And now on this one, taking it a little bit slow and have the ball just fall gracefully down into St. Joe's side of the court. St. Joe trying to replicate that. Unfortunately, Mission Vets reading that, picking it up. And another tip here in the middle by Mission Vets, finding that open zone. Great defensive effort by Mission Vets. As St. Joe looks to attack, this one just a little too hard as the ball goes sailing out of bounds. Ooh, booming hit right there. However, St. Joe was able to pick it up. See if they can do it again. This one hit a little too outside. St. Joe now looking to go on the attack. Massive hit right there. Diving effort. Great defensive play there by Mission Vets. See if they can do it again. This time a tip. Oh, just not enough to clear the net, which surely looked like it could have been a point. Not going for them. St. Joe lives to fight for another point as now they have possession. Scores 7-3, only down by 4. However, that momentum can change. Great rally by both teams. Ooh, stepping on the line on the serve there is Brownsville St. Joseph. Costly mistake as they had just gotten the ball back, looking to shorten that lead that Mission Vets has put on them. And now they give the ball to Vets, who now can potentially take this lead even further. As they look to do so, tip. St. Joe looking to attack. Booming hit into the net. Point for Mission Vets as they do continue to take this lead even further now. 6-point difference. First set. Ooh, nice spike right there. Using the net right there to be able to hit the ball forward. Throws off the defense. However, Vets all over that. This one into the net this time. Costly mistakes here for St. Joe as they are able to get the looks they want for the attacks. However, just not enough clearance on the net. Hitting it a little bit on top of the net. Sometimes it does get the ball to get a nice bounce and jump into the other side. However, that time, as we see there, just not enough. This time deflected. This ball comes flying through, picked up by Libero. This ball hit out of bounds. Timeout called by Brownsville St. Joseph. And as both teams get ready to come back from timeout, we will be right back after this short break.
4, AT4X, Denali. Case closed. Free your GMC. We're professional grade.
No importa en cuál etapa de tu vida te encuentres, Texas Almus College está aquí para ayudarte a progresar. Ya sea que estés empezando desde cero, cambiando de carrera o adquiriendo nuevas habilidades. TSC tiene programas accesibles diseñados para adaptarse a tus metas. Es hora de dar el siguiente paso. Piensa en grande, piensa claramente, piensa en TSC.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Real Sports Live Network, where we have Mission Vets leading Brownsville St. Joseph 11-3 in the first set. Mission Vets with the ball. Ooh, great hit right there. However, outstanding defense by Mission Vets being able to get the ball back in play. And another booming hit sent flying right back by the defenders. Another crazy hit. St. Joe really laying the attack down on Mission Vets. Fake out another crazy hit. Mission Vets defenders doing everything they can to track this ball and just pop it up, using all the momentum they have on that force. Great diving effort right there. By the front line now, Mission Vets looks to answer back. Great tip, great block. My goodness, the defense for both teams is insane as they are making very great reaction plays. Play has seemingly slowed down now. Ball tipped again. change of pace now by Mission Vets, leading back into the hit by St. Joe. Saving the ball is Brownsville St. Joe, needing to cross it over. They do get it. Nice save right there at the net by the front line. That was number 8 by Brownsville St. Joseph to be able to continue to play. Another booming hit right there. Just goes off of the arms of Brownsville St. Joe. What a play by Mission Vets right there. Being able to just call it right there. However, both teams outstanding defense. The ball came flying into them several times for both teams, and they were able to just stick with it, get the ball to pop up, and return it immediately back, not letting each other get too much time to send the ball over, but the reactions by both teams were insane. All sorts of outside hits, spikes going into the net, bouncing off, saves from the front line, tip ins in the middle. All kinds of hits and plays were being made in that possession there, as now things have seemingly looked to have slowed down, as now Mission Vets now has a lead 14-3. Short serve right there. This one not enough, however, goes into the net. Bounces back, but it is not enough. 14-4 now. 10-point difference. Brownsville St. Joseph with possession of the ball. Seeing if they can make something happen from this. Great serve, keeping it low. However, Mission Vets being able to pick that up and find the open gap left by the defenders. Now they retain possession of the ball. Mission Vets are able to take it back. Booming hit, however, just not on top of it enough to get it to fall down. Ooh, ball deflected, however, St. Joe able to save it, crossing it over. The setup, great spike. Great diving effort by the back row there by Mission Vets. And this tip in along the side of the out of bounds line is enough to make the defenders question whether or not it is out of bounds or not. That little hesitation lets the ball fall gracefully down into their side of the court. Unfortunate for Mission Vets as that ball just got away a little too much, not being able to cross the ball over through the net. Score is now 6-17. Vets leading by 11. However, St. Joe with an intense attack coming up. Great block, great timing right there by St. Joe, number 9 in the front line, being able to block that and have that ricochet down into the Mission Vets area. Mission Vets looking for an attack right now, and they do get it. Yes, they do get it to fall across the court, confusing the St. Joe defenders where the hit was going to fall into. As both teams now make their substitutions, both for their back rows. Ooh, hesitation there, miscommunication there by Brownsville St. Joseph Academy right there, not being able to really understand who was going to get that ball. Unfortunate way to give up a point, especially because that was something that is controllable. Mission Vets there, however, breathing a sigh of relief as that is able to get them their 19th point, closing in on their 20th mark. And this one does get it for them. Vets, the first team to hit that 20th mark. And after this timeout, we will be right back after this short break from our sponsors.
It seems like you'll do anything for your clients.
Anything.
Would you get a face tattoo?
What do you all think?
Looks good, boss.
Give your little one the best start at Brownsville ISD's Pre-K 3 and Pre-K 4 programs. At BISD, 3 and 4-year-olds develop fundamental skills that pave the way to lifelong success. With quality educators, access to the latest technology, and free nutritious meals to fuel the day, our young minds explore and learn in exciting new ways. Enroll your 3 and 4-year-old today at Brownsville.
And we are back from that timeout break here on the Rio Sports Live Network. Mission Vets leading 20-7 against Brownsville St. Joseph. Mission Vets serving the ball hit out of bounds. Great reaction by Brownsville St. Joe to be able to tell each other and let each other know that the ball is going out. Great reaction, stepping away from him, making it clear that they are not touching the ball. What looked like hesitation there by Mission Vets is able to be enough to clear the ball over, give themselves a chance for another attack. This time from the back row. And St. Joe showing them how it's done, doing it from the front row, getting that ball to be able to get sniped down into the ground. Great hit right there. Came with vicious power. And the ball deflected out of the hands of Mission Vets. Ooh, booming hit right there. However, St. Joe able to recover from that, being able to cross the ball. Little side swipe there by Mission Vets, being able to tip the ball over. Fake out, booming hit, picked up by the back row for St. Joe. Great awareness to get out of the way for their teammates to be able to clear it. Great job. Oh my goodness, we have Mission Vets going on full attack mode right now. Needing to cross it over, they do. Brownsville St. Joe being able to defend everything. Almost being able to keep it alive is Mission Vets. However, Brownsville St. Joe doing everything they can to will themselves to cut this lead down closer. Score is 20-11 here in this first set. Great serve right there, just line driving it down. However, defense able to pick it up. St. Joe now with 12, looking to cut down this lead. This ball served into the net, giving Vets their 21st point, putting them 4 points closer to ending this first set. Great pickup by St. Joe, looking to go on attack. We've seen them score from a similar position here. This time, Vets ready for that as they go for something here. Deflected by the front row there by St. Joe, being able to save it. Nice awareness getting out of the way. Booming hit into the net is unfortunate for St. Joe, as now it is 22 points for Mission Vets. Mission Vets here looking to close it off on this run. Can they get it? Or will St. Joe stand their ground and defend with all they can? We see here Mission Vets wanted it more. putting it in a good position right there for St. Joe to be able to run to the ball and just not be able to get a clean look at that hit. This time a cleaner hit. The ball tipped into the middle space. Great diving effort here by Mission Vets. The ball pushed back in play by St. Joe as they recover from that, which seemingly seemed as the ball going out of bounds by Mission Vets. You can hear the players calling it out to each other, which ends up being played back and getting themselves a point. Great pickup right there. And a booming hit, being able to go off the fingers of the defenders. Deflected several times was that hit. Booming hit, should I say, by Mission Vets. Game point now, only needing one more. St. Joe looking to see how many points can they steal from Mission Vets as they are able to get one more to bring the lead closer. 14 to 24 now, 10-point difference. St. Joe with the ball. Can they go on a run here? A 10-point run. Ooh, booming hit, but out of bounds. 15-24 now. St. Joe with possession of the ball, trying to create some momentum here for themselves. See if they can continue to score more points. Unfortunately, St. Joe touching the net and hitting the line, and that will be it, gifting Mission Vets their 25th point. 10-point difference in this first set. That is Mission Vets beating Brownsville St. Joseph 25 to 15. As the teams switch fields, we will be right back after this short break.
Choice.
At Tortilleria Ibañez, flavor starts fresh every day. Crispy flautas, homemade tamales, and our signature chicken salad, all made for you. Tortilleria Ibañez, tradition on every plate.
The middle. It's in! And it's another touchdown! Keeps the line. Now that becomes a hit. Castillo on. And that's going to be a fumble recovered by the Cardinals.
This is the island where even the grown-ups forget what day it is. South Padre is more than an island. It's the island.
I want to be a doctor.
I want to play professional soccer.
I want to play at Carnegie Hall.
At Brownsville ISD, dreams take shape with nationally recognized academic programs, championship athletics, and distinguished fine arts. Success isn't just a goal, it's our tradition. The best choice for your child's journey is Brownsville ISD.
Hey, champ. My dad got hurt in a car crash, and our insurance company isn't helping us at all.
Give this to your dad. Have him give me a call.
Thanks, champ. Hey, I've been working on my jabs.
Let's see what you got.
Hurt in a car crash? Call the Law Champ.
There's no place like Sherryland ISD. Returning students can do district work here, learn here, or tuition-based enrollment. Register now. Call 956-584-6408. Sherryland ISD. Excellence is our tradition.
Give your little one the best start at Brownsville ISD's Pre-K 3 and Pre-K 4 programs. At BISD, 3 and 4-year-olds develop fundamental skills that pave the way to lifelong success. With quality educators, access to the latest technology, and free nutritious meals to fuel the day, our young minds explore and learn in exciting new ways. Enroll your 3 and 4-year-old today at Brownsville ISD, the best choice.
Permatemp Personnel Services has been servicing local businesses for the past 29 years.
Leave the hiring to us. Let us become your personal hiring guru.
We have a network of skilled employees to fit your needs.
Your success is our strategy.
Don't hesitate, call us now.
No importa en cuál etapa.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Real Sports Live Network, where we have Brownsville St. Joseph on our left side of the screen taking on Mission Veterans on our right side of the screen. Winners of the first set was Mission Vets with a score 25-15. However, this time, drawing the first point is Brownsville St. Joe. Mission Vets looking to get an early attack here, and they do. They find the open gap. And not based off of the actual hit there, but because St. Joe players hit the net, Mission Vets will be getting their point. Great block right there by Mission Vets right there, being able to perfectly time that. Seeing as Brownsville St. Joe was running up to get a great look at a great tip right there that could have been falling perfectly into the middle of the court. However, great way to step up there for Mission Vets is that front row defender. Number 5. This ball hitting the net. Another point for Mission Vets. Ooh, booming hit by Brownsville St. Joe here from the outside. That ball had no chance of being defended against, as it could only been attempted, ended up being deflected out by Mission Vets. Great hit right there by St. Joe. Great tip right there by Mission Vets. However, St. Joe ready for that, looking to recover, going on the attack, finding that open zone left by Mission Vets. Score is now tied 3-3. Ooh, a nice attempt to try to cross the ball to the other side, seeing an open gap. However, just not able to get under the ball enough to hit it and spike it to the other side over the net. Great serve here, putting it just on the outside shoulder of the Mission Vets defender. Has the momentum, leaning outside for the ball, takes her away, and has the ball travel out of bounds. No shot for a return. Brownsville Vets now looking to keep possession. See if they can replicate that. Vets ready for it this time. Nice diving effort by Libero there. Being able to keep the ball in play. Great hit right there. However, good defense by Mission Vets being able to pick that up. Can they do it again though? Yes, they can. St. Joe with another great hit. However, Mission Vets not able to do it again and save that. St. Joe now with 6 points. Great offensive display here for St. Joe right now in this second set. Surely what must have happened in the time period between the first and second set Coaches and players understanding the game plan better, knowing what they need to do, what adjustments they need to make. And clearly we are seeing it now here as they have 6 points to start off this game, taking a dramatic lead, which is shortened down by Mission Vets 4-6 now. Mission Vets with the ball. Now looking to serve with a chance to prove why they won the first set. The ball tip. This ball spiked and deflected out of bounds by St. Joe. 5-6 now. Nice tip by St. Joe. However, blocked and denied by Mission Vets. Being able to force that double hit by St. Joe. Score is now 7, St. Joe, 2-5 here, Mission Vet side. Point for Mission Vets right there, as it was a straight hit straight to that top right corner on the St. Joe court. Score is now Mission Vets 6 to St. Joe's 7. And now with a chance to serve and potentially tie this game. Brownsville St. Joseph denying that chance right now. Ooh, hesitation there by Vets. Assumingly can only be because of the massive leap that Brownsville St. Joe took to be able to block that hit, making the Vets defender hesitate hitting the ball. St. Joe now with the lead by 2. Great hit off of the net. Ooh, and a crazy spike right there, contorting her body to be able to curve that ball back into the field of play. And it is deflected out of bounds by St. Joe. Quick substitution here for Mission Vets. That ball ruled inbounds for St. Joe. That hit just on the line, being able to give themselves a point. Mission Vets surely thought that that was going to be going out. Unfortunately for them, it didn't. For St. Joe, grateful so. And now they can continue to extend this lead. Ooh, booming hit there by Mission Vets though, however, answering back from that previous play. 8-9, finding that open space across the court. Oh, the ball tipped, pushed, looking like it was going out of bounds. Still touched by the defender on top left corner for Mission Vets. Deflected and not being able to get the ball back into the area of play, out of bounds. 10-8 now. The ball set, spike deflected by the front row of St. Joe. However, unfortunate that it spins off of the hands into the open space. Servers up. St. Joe needing to cross this when they do. An attack being set up in the middle, deflected, saved by St. Joe, and it is hit out of bounds. Great effort to try to get that. However, just not enough as Mission Vets' power impactful spikes have been enough to be able to get them back to tie this game. Mission Vets looking to take the lead since the beginning of this game. Great tip right there. However, Mission Vets ready for that. Booming spike into the net. St. Joe point, keeping the lead. Point for St. Joe. Mission Vets here, letting the lead slip away from them. St. Joe taking advantage. Great booming hit, and they seem to have answered back because that is deflected out by St. Joe. And it seems that Mission Vets is back here. They are at their most dangerous when they are on attack, but that does not mean they can't defend because they defend great. However, St. Joe has been able to counter that. And mistakes like that will just hurt any team. 13-11. Not able to get to the ball fast enough as it was just in front of the net. St. Joe now with 14. Ooh, booming hit there by Mission Vets. However, St. Joe ready to pick that up. Now their turn. Mission Vets looking to return that. The tip, ready for that. Now an attack getting set up, crossing it. They do get it. St. Joe needing to push it across. They get it as well. Crazy booming hit there by Mission Vets, being able to block, to get through not only one block, but two blocking defenders there at the net, giving them their 12th point. Great serve right there, being able to keep it low enough for the defender not able to reach it on time. 13-14 now. Not many lead changes in this game. Not many ties either. However, Brownsville St. Joe keeping a lead, comfortable enough to never lose it. And Mission Vets not being in such a great deficit to where they feel like they cannot come back from it. As we see here, they have been down quite a few times, but are now only down by one, looking to tie, which they have done before. Point for Mission Vets, and you can hear the crowd and the St. Joe sideline erupting as they assumed that the Mission Vets previously had hit the net, and they continue to play it. Should have been 4 hits. However, the refs ruled it as it was blocked by St. Joe, giving the chance for Mission Vets to be able to continue to play that. This one going into the net. And timeout called by St. Joe. As Mission Veterans is leading right now, 15-14. We will be right back after this short break.
No importa en cuál etapa de tu vida te encuentres, Texas Almus College está aquí para ayudarte a progresar. Ya sea que estés empezando desde cero, cambiando de carrera o adquiriendo nuevas habilidades, TSC tiene programas accesibles diseñados para adaptarse a tus metas. Es hora de dar el siguiente paso. Piensa en grande, piensa claramente, piensa en TSC.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, from that timeout break here on the Real Sports Live Network. We have St. Joe versus Mission Veterans, where we have Mission Vets taking the lead, but not for long. As shortly after the break, you can see how excited the Brownsville St. Joe players are. They are able to score a killer spike into what seemed to be the most open space possible on that court to tie up the game 15-15. Brownsville St. Joe looking to take back the lead that they've had for so long in this second set, needing to win this second set as well to take it into set number 3 to win the game entirely. And they do get a great hit, deflected off of Mission Veterans. Brownsville St. Joe now with 16, officially scoring more than they did in their previous first set. Great look for themselves, as it shows that there have been improvements made. Great tip by Mission Vets. Point for St. Joe as the ball is ruled out of bounds. Judges ruling that it was tipped. However, official head judge says that out of bounds. Booming hit right there. Mission Vets able to keep it in play, needing to cross it over. Great hit by Brownsville St. Joe, finding open space in the back row left behind by Mission Vets as they look to take on a 3-point lead now, which has not been seen since the beginning of this second set. Rotation, now substitution here for Mission Vets. Brownsville St. Joe looking to retain possession of the ball, extending this lead, hopefully able to win this second set to be able to win the game entirely in the third. Great hit, deflected, but not enough to slow that ball down as that booming hit comes crashing down, giving St. Joe their 19th point. Tip here, almost saved by St. Joe. Just not enough reaction time to be able to hit that ball back up. 16-19 now. St. Joe closing in on that 20th point mark. Mission Vets looking to get back in this game as they get their 17th point, 2-point difference now. Mission Vets trying to get as much as they can out of this possession. Great booming spike right there. Continuously has been going on is number 20 for St. Joe, being able to hit the ball at a consistent rate, being able to get them from 16 points all the way to 20. This serve, just not enough power behind it to get over the net. Scores now 20-18. Only 5 more points needed here for St. Joe, but not trailing too far behind is Mission Veterans. Mission Veterans only needing to tie, hopefully trying to get in the heads of St. Joe, make them make mistakes. Great hit, however deflected, able to get picked up. Tip. Booming hit right there by Mission Vets as she is able to find open space in the middle of the court. 19-20 now. What seemed to have been a run of a lead for St. Joe is now getting slowly but surely cut down by Mission Vets. Tip, deflected, not enough to get there. Score is now 21. St. Joe only needing 4 more points to win this second set. Coach is talking to the players, making sure that they know and they understand what they need to do to win this second set. Great booming hit. Great pickup by the libero. Just a little bit too hard into the net as St. Joe touches the net, giving the ball and the point to Mission Vets, who now have 20. Mission Vets now with a chance to tie the game. And the ball sniped down by St. Joe, too low for Mission Vets to get that ball, deflecting it out of bounds. Now St. Joe has the chance on this possession here to make a run and close off this second set with full momentum on their side. Tip into the middle of the court. St. Joe not able to get there. And just like that, Mission Vets showing why they won the first set, not going away entirely the second set. They have always been trailing by 2 points at any given moment. This time closing it down to 1 point difference. But St. Joe able to get, sorry for that. Mission Vets able to get that 22nd point to tie the game, stealing momentum from St. Joe. St. Joe needing to play phenomenal defense here to load their attack. Timeout called now, and as we are in tied game 22-22, we will be right back after this short break. Do not leave as we have an exciting next few points going into this second set. We'll be right back after this.
It's time to take a new look, maybe your first look at Buick. If smart, hip, and affordable is for you, Buick's your brand. For your Buick, Brownsville, Texas.
100 years ago, in the heart of the Rio Grande Valley, a spark was born. From the first dreamers who stepped onto these grounds, Texas Southmost College has stood as a promise that determination can overcome any challenge. Join us.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, from that timeout break here on the Rio Sports Live Network, where we have Mission Veterans and Brownsville St. Joseph tied at 22 points. Now, St. Joe riding a lot of momentum here, who first lost the first set, as that ball is trying to get saved and deflected out of bounds. Point for Mission Vets. As I was saying, Brownsville St. Joe was riding a lot of momentum. However, Mission Vets able to steal that momentum from them. Coming in from behind this entire second set, Mission Vets has not led more than 4 times. Brownsville St. Joe was holding the lead comfortably. And now Mission Vets only 2 points away from winning the second set and the entire game. Great hit, great save by Mission Vets. Able to cross the ball over. Players running all over the place. Great block right there by Mission Vets, being able to deflect the ball down into the area of play on St. Joe's side. Game point now for Mission Vets, riding this momentum they have built. Here at St. Joe, you don't want to panic too much. You don't want to do too much. Lots of movement here by both teams. And there it is. Mission Vets able to complete the comeback game on this second set, being able to win it all. 25-15 was the score for the first set, as these girls congratulate each other for a phenomenal second set. And the second set score was 25-22. Thank you for watching here on the Rio Sports Live Network. And tune in tomorrow where we have another set of games here for you.
Celebrate our present and ignite the future together. Texas Southmost College, 100 years strong.